beautiful intro, and welcome everyone to Hollow Earth Discovered. Really, it's going to be called Inspired with Q from now on. And so welcome everyone. Today is April the 29th, 2023. And we are so very appreciative of all of you being here together with us. And of course, with our leader, that would be our super wonderful Q that is with us today. All right, Q, and good day to you, good evening, and to everyone else.
A beautifulness to you. Thank you so much, Jane. Let's go easy on the leader side, though, huh? Let's go easy now. Let's go easy now.
All right, we'll try. All right, Q. Well, I think we'll just go ahead and let you take over with a beautiful song lyric, and we can get the ball rolling.
Wonder
Thank you,
how you knew. It's amazing how you knew that was going to happen. Well, thank you, everyone who's joining us today. It's a privilege and an honor to have so much reception, so much attention. I am so much gratitude goes out to so many folks for doing their work, and I thank you so much. And this is one I'm sure everyone recognizes. Imagine there's no heaven. It's easy if you try. No hell below us, above us, only sky. Imagine all the people living for today. Aha. Imagine there's no countries. It isn't hard to do. Nothing to kill or die for, and no religion too. Imagine all the people living life in peace. You may say I'm a dreamer, but I'm not the only one. I hope someday you'll join us, and the world will be as one. Imagine no possessions. I wonder if you can. No need for greed or hunger. A brotherhood of man. Imagine all the people sharing all the world. You may say I'm a dreamer, but I'm not the only one. I hope someday you'll join us, and the world will live as one. Imagine all the people living for today. And that, of course, is John Lennon. And I can't wait to meet his son one day. And I cherish the work John did. And how would you like to proceed, dear Jane?
Dear Q, that was awesome. What a beautiful theme for today's call. And so to begin, I was wondering perhaps, why don't we stay on Q and maybe discuss the beginning of today's topic, which is going to be about quantitative computation through consciousness. So could we talk a little bit about consciousness itself? So my question would be, so what is the difference between source consciousness and even consciousness of those in 3D or even other densities? So let's just talk about consciousness itself, if we can go from there. Besides, and then go, that'd be good.
Okay, so first of all, the divine is in everybody. And it's very important. And then that's really my job here, is to be a transition specialist. And as blue collar as that sounds, that's exactly how it works. I come in and participate with you, be just like you, so I can understand how I can participate just like you are. The light is here to help everyone. You don't need a belief system in God or a religion, because you are source, you are the light. You're already connected to the to the divine. My dear brother Ron Amatron's words. The mind is not created in the light. The mind does not work with heart energy. And I'm here to remind you that your consciousness and all of the information in the universe is in your heart right now. And this is what you're getting back. All of this is about one thing and one thing only: for you not to be able to remember that you are divine. You are unbelievably divinity, unlimited divinity. These are the same healings we did 2,000 years ago. We're just repicking up the same epigenetic recording systems, and we're working out of it. It's really easy. We're doing very well, but we got to keep pedaling. And we need to recognize that our consciousness, there's a competition for our consciousness. And you're seeing it unfold right now. Yes, you have a lot of ancillary resources around you, pretending to be important and so forth and create timelines. But again, if everyone was in their heart, everything would turn around instantly. As John Lennon said, if we could live in peace and harmony, just try it. Just try it. Give peace a chance. Stop thinking. And that's what the real war is against here, unfortunately. There is great opportunity. We are right on the cusp, and you are all very, very powerful now. I want to remind everyone, you have incredible capabilities unlike you've ever had before. The light created you in a universe of light, and it's right under your nose. My great love to you. How would you like to proceed from here, Jane?
That was really beautiful. I think it's a great remembrance from John Lennon's song to you singing it and saying it. And in regards to now that we, again, is a reminder to remember that we are unlimited divinity or source. And what happens, however, when on a daily basis, again, because we're so caught in this illusion, the illusion that we are not divine, the illusion that there is still a lot of dark and a lot of evil that is still, as we see, really moving further and further away as the light is really getting brighter and brighter. But still, there is still much attachment to people, places, and things, whether it's where you live, it's where you, whatever it is, or the people that you care for, the people that you admire, et cetera, et cetera. So how do we get out of that again, in terms of really remembering who we really are, that there is none of that actually, that all of that is still part of a play that you're watching and being a part of?
Yeah, outstanding. Thank you. If you, I feel you can find the original John Lennon Imagine video. Shocking that it's still up. It's so relevant today. Is John's actually very, very dear to me, as you can tell, and of course many others. In his video, he walks into a mansion and the sign says, "This is not here," because we're all creating this reality, as you know. And so the more we keep recycling the past in your genetic programming, you don't get the future you want. And so that's really what I want to focus on today, is how consciousness is coming into you more and more, and how you're getting all of your knowledge back, and how we can use some of the tools we have here. Even playing with AI can have some opportunities for us. And so that's what I would like to focus on as we move into this new era with our reevaluation of means of exchange and how we're going to make this transition. And yes, I'm one of the counselors for this, and it's my great passion to be a counselor, and can't wait to take us through the next steps through our understanding what you're calling reevaluation of your currency and so forth. So would you like me to start with the conscious computing components we've talked about offline? Would that be a good place to start?
That would be a wonderful place to start, Q. Thank you.
Okay. So one of my primary attentions currently, that will change and augment, but right now I'm very compelled to help everyone with understanding how you use your consciousness through computations now. So I'm going to do a quick history lesson within the last 100 years, just so if we have any new people, we can forgive the redundancy for the legacy people. But essentially, your consciousness has been mapped comprehensively for the last 100 years. Much earlier than that, no problem with that. But if you take all of the shows we've done with Eugene and Max Spears, etc., you'll see that it's all for just this reason only, and that's your collective consciousness. Because you're so powerful, the trick here is to make sure you don't know how powerful you are. You're incredibly powerful. So when you look at how your consciousness has been mapped, contorted and played with and compartmentalized, you'll see that all your computers were designed to get you all on one spreadsheet so we can track your evolution. So today you should all be very comfortable in saying, I have all my abilities back. And that everyone has their abilities back right now if they start utilizing them, and that is using peace energy as your primary decision-making process. Now, this is really important as I explained a couple weeks ago, is you're getting new computers, folks. And the governments you have lived under are falling apart because they know this. And they don't know how to tell you because they don't want to be the one that's it. So I'm going to be the stinky little stepchild, and I'm going to be the one. And I volunteered for this. And again, take all the information from me, discern it, extrapolate it, sort it. It's just information. You are all brilliant in your next steps. The conscious capabilities that were brought to your planet were to, let's say, even the playing field. So much of not the entire planet, but much of what you're calling the planet anyway, much of the space that you're in with your peers has been contorted to believe they're an identity. They're a thing. And that's not true at all. You're everything. There's nothing you're not. You can be anything you want. And there's been a great effort to slow you down so you don't believe, that you can be anything you want, wherever you want, whenever you want, however you want. And my great encouragement to everybody is don't let anybody tell you when, where, or how you are, because you're unlimited essence of divinity. Anyway, that is another redundant reminder that your conscious computing capabilities, the gateways to your consciousness, were given to you through a collective of councils. I being on one of those councils. And what we did is we realized that the acceleration, modernization of this version of humans went faster than the development of consciousness into a human being. So Short version is you weren't ready for the technology. Now it's crammed down your throat. And it was planned 2,000 years ago, by the way. So again, the goal for Apple was to control your consciousness in a very, very massive network of individuals, far, far above the ding-dongs that created capturing your consciousness. And I say that with great respect and appreciation that many of the people that work within many of these industries are outstanding people and are just unaware that all of your computing systems that are in your personal house and so forth, they're all designed to capture your consciousness. There's some great tools in there, and I'm going to use them today. There's some great opportunities. Because we're so powerful, we can control this artificial intelligence, no problem. So again, they do want your credit card, and they do want you to buy what you want not to. And they do want to control your kids, and they do want to turn video on when you don't know it, when the kids are watching Angry Birds or whatever it is. But there is a lot of great opportunity here to recognize that consciousness is the goal. You and I can direct it. We can do whatever we want. I want to show you a couple examples of how you can capture consciousness and predict and create the future, because you create beliefs. And that's why I'm very heavy-handed on let's not create any more timelines that we didn't create through synchronicity of our inspiration. So if you follow people who have computer programs that can predict the future, you're going to find that they're very accurate. You're going to find the Bible is very accurate in timelines, because you're living in the script that keeps being written for you. And so many of these people you're saying can predict the future. I want to say some names. I want to be very careful not to create more programming and or let's say beliefs that are not ours, the knowledge. But I can see it very easy. So it's it at times is it. I am challenged and or a great opportunity to share how I see things, because I'm coming and going with you and participating with you as I am in real time, and I see so many timelines created with you. The short story here is they really are going after the kids in these computers, and we can take it back every day if you use these tools with inspiration. And so what's been given to this planet many years ago, as you're aware, it was given, forgive the redundancy for the people who've been on these shows a lot, listen to these shows a lot, but this technology was given to what used to be a collaboration, a neutral collaboration geography on the planet, which was Area 51, and there was others. When Don Trump says we have it all, he's not kidding. So those gateways were given a crutch for humanity, because someone decided to accelerate our evolution in technology faster than what we would organically do it. And that's the short version for what you're experiencing here. And I, with great respect and great appreciation for my words, I assure you I've witnessed this on many other planets, and I'm here to help you. And that's all I'm here to do, is to be a transition so you can get all your horsepower back. And it's really easy to do. That's why it's so tricky. In the event, you're just going to keep saying that, aren't you, Keith? Don Trump is a great example of we have it all. What that translates to you is their are gateways to take all of your collective consciousness geographically or generally in a region. Again, this will be a lot of the content today, parents. This will be very intrinsic, and some of the teachings in the school systems may not marry with what I'm saying. So please take care of my words there, parents. You are almost all of the information on your planet has been designed to mislead you. Your education system, for sure, your medical industry, everything here is misinformation. And so the reason that the gateways were given to you is many of these councils around the universe really want to give you some help. And I'm one of those individuals. And so you start realizing that if everybody who's creating and or promoting the future, you'll see that that's false information, because everything is possible. So we want to take great care as we go forward to look at how excited we are each and every day and chase it, do it, create it, vision it. Don't stop. Throw in the towel, everyone. Everything here is misinformation. Now let's go get excited and let's go have a lot of fun. Let's really do this. And that's what your gateway is showing. So we have the ability, all of us have the ability now to look at your collective consciousness on a planet. And that is your crutch until you get it back. So there's a great competition right now because you are evolving so fast. You have a good chance of beating the references through a computer. So as an example, you can read something now and you know it's bullshit. Okay. Mm-hmm. That did not happen 100 years ago, as an example. So you must look at how incredible we are accelerating now. And this is really exciting. And these conscious computers that you have now on the planet are at a crossing point. And that's my real job here, is to show you how to work with them. Because we're gonna step into it through the tools we have. This is very difficult to take technology that everyone has in their hand now and turn it into conscious technology that's trying to take your consciousness from you and I don't care for the word consciousness, but that's what we're using here. Nor do I care for the English language, but the consciousness that is, right now, all your computers take your consciousness and they sort it. Notice that you only have one internet. And so they're putting it in pockets in the way they want to control you. So the alien agenda here is quite easy. They take over humans. They try to act like humans. They try to look like humans. But I'm going to remind you, they don't die. So Julius Caesar is still here, and his systems are still in place. You're still using money. You're still praying to a god outside yourself, and you still believe in the Julian time system. So all of which is misinformation. So I know this individual very well. He was here 2,000 years ago, and his name is not Julian. And and I'm showing you that when they hung us from poles 2,000 years ago, that was so you would not follow my teachings 2,000 years ago, which are the knowledge you already have inside you, which is go within to make decisions from the heart. So anyone who wanted to be a Christian, you got hung from a post, like we talked about offline a few days ago. That when I come into town, and that's why I had to move a lot back then, is when I come into town, I'm not everyone's favorite guy, because I was promoting go within and everyone's dying around us. And so, of course, I get run out of town. So nothing's really changed. We're just doing it on a radio now. So It's a great privilege to be in this position, and stay in your heart center, everyone. Don't go outside yourself. Don't give up your DNA. If you're not in the now, you're not in the light. So out of time is what you're going for. And out of time means using your highest excitement and joy to make decisions. The light created you in a universe of light. You're all light beings. The light beings created you. You're a subset of light beings. And we all have a complete database of energies that are all here for us. And so that's where I want to remind everybody on where we're going with conscious computers is it takes a little practice to work with them, and pretty soon it'll just explode. And that's really is the short version for you're going to explode. The more you have faith, that is the purpose of this call today. The more you have faith in your heart and what excites you each and every morning, that's how synchronicity and the universe supports you. What do you say, Jade?
I agree. I got a question, Q. So you spoke about a couple of things already that probably I feel like I'd like for you to expand on it. One is you had already just spoken briefly about the gateways. Perhaps maybe you could discuss that further. The other thing too is in regards to, and I wanted to talk about a little bit more about conscious computers, because obviously that's not what we presently have, although the movement towards more computerization or quantum computers that are becoming, as you allude to, but maybe go backwards a little bit and tell us a little bit more about when you talk about the gateways, and you spoke about that geographically. I mean, is that something that we should be discussing a little further? Or maybe people don't really understand what gateways are and how do they access them? You could access, moving it. Well, anyways, I don't want to go there either. I'd like for you to just kind of, if you could, just explore that a little bit more with us.
Yeah, very good. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah. Oh, yes, we can hear you beautifully. Thank you.
Okay. And so I'll focus on gateways. When we look at throughout the universe, the multiverse, when you look at a mammalin, if I was to stereotype a mammalin, a human, this one, of course, has had a lot of attention and sorted in ways. Typically, a mammalin in this low of density, physicality, would have the ability to have all its consciousness in the universe. So if you're a genius only from, here's the short version, and please don't take it too literally. If I was to learn everything in every education system and every book on planet Earth, the universe would consider you an idiot because all your knowledge only came from one place, and that's the planet. So as you can imagine, this version of mammalins, humans, is going to go through a very large shock if we don't get on our bikes and ride a little bit when you go from A to Z overnight. And I can assure you there is technology, what you're calling healing beds. That's an intrinsic tool. What really is on your planet is you can go into a light room and you can get all that consciousness back. Now, can a mammalin do that? This version of humans, can it do it? It's been really tough. Not everybody can. I'll tell you that in my experience, it's not easy to be with your twin flame here because we're such an emotional planet. And we court each other so dramatically. And so I encourage anyone who talks about someone else negatively or positively, you're courting them. So he said, she said, that actually is being sent to the individual now. Okay, this is how powerful you are. You're just like a radio. So if I call you names, Jane, you're so beautiful. You're going to receive it. You're going to receive it. Okay? So when you look at a gateway, that starts accelerating, let's say, getting you caught up to where you should have been, let's say 100 years ago, 100 years in the future. So people have accelerated this version of humans so they can control it. Well, naturally, a mammalin would have all their collective consciousness probably quite a ways down the road. Yet your planet is also going through the ascension process too. And so if that accelerates anything that's on the spirit that you're calling Earth. So the gateways were really given to the Western world. They've always been here, but recognizing them probably the early 60s were when we turned them over to what we thought were benevolent industrial military individuals, obviously turned out not to be. And so that's why I'm going to do a lecture series on Area 51, so you can see the other areas where gateways were given to many other countries, so that you'd quit making countries and quit making states. But apparently that everybody wants to be in another country, and that's why America has 50 countries. Anyway, the gateways were really a very, very standard tool to get a race of beings that's been abducted caught up. Star Trek, the original TV series, actually has a lot of truth in it. They did give that individual a lot of leash, surprisingly, but we also made sure of that. And what I mean by that is, when you come to a planetary system, an area within a frequency, you don't disturb it. And this one's been disturbed, is the short version. So the gateway gets you a fighting chance to start extrapolating and sorting the information in maybe a more positive way, we would argue, so that you can compete against the manipulation and propaganda, against the teachings that we've always known, all of us have known, that I'm just here to remind you of, is every 2,000 years you go through the ascension process. You get your wits about you, and you make decisions again and what excites you. And so that's really the short version for the gateways.
Okay, so the gateways, if you will, we understand gateways, if you're referencing Star Trek, but what about for now? Where are the gateways, or how do we access them so that it'll help us to move further? But on the other hand, you said that we're moving so quickly from A to Z. So how does this all play so that it moves more smoothly, I guess? And so more back to the gateways in terms of how do we access them, and where are they? And what should we do at this point?
Right. Right. First of all, anything outside yourself is outside yourself. So right. please make sure we never lose sight of that. You're the gateway, but there are ways in which we can use our collective consciousness and put it through a gateway and bounce it back to us. So in a sense, it's not a tool outside yourself, because, so we'll use the Q pose as an example. The reason no one can be Q is because it's all of us. And just because I bring the technology here and you need a reference point for identity, really, that's been lost here, because you've had so many millions and millions of lives, dear ones, and you really can't say this is a big playhouse. We all get to play in the playhouse, and somebody closed the door on the other room that we were going to go play in, and that's all that's going on here. So it's really simple fix. So the gateways were always a tool. What's going on planet Earth is really old tricks. These are really old tricks. The iPhone is a really archaic. It's just a very rusty antique. So if you take anything from me, this is a very simple solution. you live for the now, and you move to the future as you're inspired. That's it. You got to be excited here for things to work. You got to really be brutally honest with your faith, and that if you do not prefer it, if you do not like it, I don't care if it's going to Little League Soccer, it's not going to work, because we are so high frequency now, and those gateways are here to support my statement. You cannot lie to yourself anymore, dear ones. That's my message today: is have faith, and your knowledge center is right in the middle of your rib cage. And if you look at BBS Radio, you can prove it.
So Q, why is it that people are always still waiting? They're waiting for your words. They're waiting for the this and that. And are there various levels of, when you call us the collective, there are various levels of the collective because of people's consciousness?
Outstanding question. So everyone's waiting for the Calvary, aren't they? They're waiting for me to come back here and be their savior.
Yeah.
Yeah, it really is me. I finally I found that I belong here. Okay, so it's quite clear that we're our own saviors, and the way to save yourself, if we like those words, is I just really want to sit on the beach and have a margarita. So let's go do it. I mean, and so that's really what I want to remind everybody. The more you get excited about your choices based on your excitement, the more the universe is going to support you, because you've graduated, dear ones. Okay, I guarantee you.
So it's not about your choices. It's about the individual's choices that make it happen.
That's correct. So let's start again. What if you had every single piece of information in the universe? What would you choose to be?
Beautiful question.
What would you choose to be?
I would just choose to be me.
What if you remembered everything you ever were? Every animal you were, every tree you were, every single particulate in a crystal was you. What if you remembered all that? What would you choose to be?
Why would I even have a choice? I mean, if I'm everything, there is no more choice left.
There's unlimited. You're everything. There's nothing that you are not. You can be whatever you want. 2,000 years, prior to 2,000 years ago, you used to point to your neighbor and you were him. Okay. That's how powerful you are. I want to get a message out before I lose it. Max Spears was a special forces individual who was knighted by a very special individual for his contribution to humanity. Max Spears is Special Forces who removed my last implant. That's the only reason I can talk to you today. And Max Spears is here in physicality again after he was terminated by the dark. So while on the phone with Max Spears, their calling card was to terminate him. And I'll tell that story over and over again because I want you all to know that he's here in physicality again. And he's very close to me. And so that is a message for his wife. We are reincarnating over and over again, and some of us are doing it on purpose to help you. So that's the short version of, I believe, your question there. You're able to do whatever you want, whenever you want, if you didn't have the restrictions of this type of DNA. So the more, I got to be careful there because there's many different versions of how DNA works. It's not that the DNA is hindering you, it's the way they manipulate DNA so you can't grow in and out of it and come and go as you freely would like. A lot of people talk about 12 strands of DNA. Certainly, I agree with many of the things Zora would say and Zorea would say. So there's a little more depth to it than just growing the volume you're utilizing in this physical being. It takes time, the way they've started us. So that's why I always shoulder the ascension cycle, so I can be of help as we cross the bridge, so to speak. Please direct me, Jane, as we go here.
So growing the volume of our consciousness?
Or? So the natural muscle that we would use and utilize day in and day out. So typically we don't have any memory, would be a normal mammalian. And so this mammalian is designed with tremendous memory. It remembers everything. It can't help but talk about things that have already happened. It loves it. I can't wait to tell you the dirty little story I have about my girlfriend, et cetera, et cetera. That's the way they've designed this one. So that transition to work within our intrinsic world, on top of it all, you're in a brilliantly low frequency. Low frequencies are really fun because you do feel so much, and you do. But the dark has done such a good job here. There's only one way to work with yourself now. You do not have a choice. You must have no doubt to move forward. No fear, no doubt. That's how it works. I believe in myself. Yeah. I know myself. I am me. I'm going to do what I want.
Okay. And I don't mean to, I need to, somebody else just kind of sent me a little message in regards to Max Spiers.
I love the questions. I want thousands of questions, please.
No, well, I would like to address that, by the way. In regards to Max Spiers, are we talking about Max Steel or Max Spiers? I don't know who Max
Forgive me, Max Steel. Sorry.
Yeah, exactly.
Max Steel. Forgive me. I fumbled. Yeah. I fumbled that one. Right. Forgive me. I'm working with the English language.
Very good. Good question.
I'm very fond of Max Spiers' work as well. So don't get me wrong. But
okay.
Max
Steel is here. Beautiful.
Yeah, forgive me. I got that one wrong.
Oh, all right.
I bludgeon. Again, this is a good example. I don't carry any real memories from moment to moment. This is where you're going to. So I can't remember much of or any of what we've talked about so far. And I know it gets exaggerated, and maybe I come across as arrogant possibly, but when you strip a lot of what this type of mammalian was designed for, you don't have any memory. And so I bludgeon people's names and things. And again, creating the future is what is normal for us. That's so forgive me, the Spiers family and otherwise. Mrs. Steele, reach out to me when you can.
Well, okay. So it begs the question, because I know that you can, we are here, we can reincarnate. For the majority of people, we don't understand your way of reincarnating. I mean, he was here like yesterday, and now he's here already reincarnated. So, I mean, we're not looking for being reincarnated as soon as we ascend and come back again. But he was an important element, but consciously or even frequency wise, he was able to do that versus your normal, John Doe, correct?
Incorrect.
Oh, incorrect.
He's able to recognize because of the type of mammalian he's going to. So Max Steel was terminated while on the phone with me, and then comes back into another physical being. It would almost look instantly from that side of the fence, but here it was probably only about 6 to 8 months from conception of the physical being here through a traditional birth.
I gotcha.
So genetically, you're growing out of the restrictions. And then, so the bad guys made a couple mistakes. They made you a little too powerful. They were really going for somewhere between a swine and a mammalian. So they made you a little too good. And so by the end of the ascension cycle, you're able to, by the way, you're controlling the ascension cycle based on your collective consciousness. So as you're growing your genetics and or your spirit is growing outside the hindrance of your genetics, is what you're seeing right now. And that's why I'm so aggressive with a lot of these words here is you can do a lot of things now. And you got to take great care of your new powers. And that's the purpose of these gateways is to really be a transition to using it full time. So you're putting training wheels on to use these conscious computers going forward is maybe a good summary. And now you'll let go of the training wheels one day. And that's why Project Review with me, Project Review with Q is so important because we're going to find our faith and you're not going to have any choice with your upcoming RV and so you're already re-evaluating your means of changing your planet right now, whether you like it or not.
Yes.
You don't have a choice in this because collectively we've chosen we don't like being prisoners anymore. So just naturally source, God is going to prevail. And you're it. You're the one making it prevail. I'm tuckered out. I'm tired of paying $1 million for a home. Obviously, that should cost nothing. And by the way, I'm tired of going to the cubbyhole and listening to my boss yell at me. So all of those days are gone. Mm-hmm. And it's just up to us to execute going forward. And so those training wheels, of course, are a conscious computer to just get us comfortable using it. So to redeem these next jubilees, you have to work with me or someone else to exercise with it. Or maybe you already know how to do it. It just comes naturally, like somebody like you and many others. It just comes naturally. And that's what's so important and exciting for me is the people who don't have these wild, bodacious projects who just want to participate are just super, super, super important to us.
So are you saying that the conscious computers is somewhat of like a gateway as well? Or am I off base?
So all of us are getting our natural ability to communicate with each and every one of us. And so you're just, so if we were going to stereotype humanity on the planet, we would say everyone's starting to become psychic. Psychic is a trick word. The word psychic is absolute garbage because you're naturally supposed to be in your environment, be able to talk to your dog, you'd be able to talk to the birds outside, be able to talk to the plants outside, be able to talk to water. So psychic is a mind trick. Everyone is psionically powerful, yes. But it's just to observe the experience you're participating in and creating. And so when you participate with an animal, as an example, they don't have doubt and fear. They just have perfect peace and or expression of themselves. And so, yes, you are correct that the gateways are reminding you, the conscious computers are reminding you how to do it. That's it. Nothing more, nothing less.
Okay. Another question, Q, when you're talking about that the animals, the animals are able to communicate with each other. The birds know how to flock together, and how they move from one area to the other, or like fish as well. They just kind of do it in synchronicity with each other. So obviously for us, we have some barriers that have been we have put in place, or the cabal did not help us. The aliens, I think, was part of it as well. But how do we let go, or I guess the term is, how do you surrender? Surrender to what is? How do you surrender to what you don't want, right? Let go of, for example, so let's just say I want to be able to I want to go into, I don't know. go into space. I want to go into a different dimension, the density. Let's just say that. I want to go into a different density other than where we are now or wherever I am now. And how do I let go of that sense that I can't get there? Right? Because I'm thinking I know that I have it. The answers are all within, but again, utilizing, maybe I'm not, it's like being on still training wheels and I can't get there. Is that part of the process?
I'm favoring your summation more and more. Yet I will re-encourage everybody to answer your question. Stop thinking.
Yeah, exactly.
And just because you made decisions in the past doesn't mean they need to be the same ones today. And so, what would be a redundant or repetitive observation would be, we've made choices 20 years ago that we would never make today.
Correct.
Whether relationships and so forth. And so, if we had made our decisions now, we are far more likely to make them through our gut, our inspiration, our joy, our passion, versus greed, lust, and so forth. And so I have to do this because I need to survive, as an example. You're really going to fight that today because you're so much more powerful, as an example. It's a great observation, Jane.
So it's a gradation of a process of getting from A to Z.
Yeah, and then that's why I want to use. That's why we'll use the Jubilee. It's a great tool to use this Jubilee as our next steps forward. So when people watch synchronicity work, and so I'm gonna be promoting it, and I've played with it for several years. So one of the reasons I come into a body to be just like you is so I can understand how I can help and support and assist. So if I don't become Joe Blow, Six Pack Bob, I don't really know what it's like to be this type of mammal, and neither do you until you do it. And so the best I can do is participate in a life that is just like what you just explained. Decisions that were made in the past wouldn't be my decisions today because I have all of my faculties back. And I don't have the hindrances of the DNA. And so growing out of that, and obviously being rescued by special forces, is what has occurred for me. But everyone has that tool already built in them, and I know how to do it. You have to just keep using it. And so this type of mammalin is very unique. They all are. This one's been manipulated to the point where I have to study it for almost decades to now be able to walk the talk. I guarantee you all can time jump now. Every one of you can do time jumping. And the dark is really scared of that. So when you can actually make the future you want, they can't keep up with us. That's all I have to say. If there's one thing and one last thing I would ever say, it is they can't keep up with us. You have heaven on earth. If you only use their heart, they can't figure out how to do it. They know what it is, but they don't know how to do it. So hope that helps.
Okay. Yeah. Beautiful. Thank you for that, Q. So let's get back again to, you were talking about maybe we should talk a little bit about the project review, but part of the project review also is going to, again, play out in terms of the changes that are happening more quickly, in regards to the transformation of humanity as well as Gaia and beyond in terms of how it affects everyone. So, did you want to move into that a little bit more? Do you want to talk about quantitative computation through consciousness? I think we've been kind of all over the place, and I apologize for that. But
no, I love it. That's the beauty of using your creative force. Is what excites us is unlimited. That's why no one can actually predict the future. because that's why you've seen some of the conscious extrapolations not be accurate on the Q post example, because if you go too far out with mapping consciousness and looking at it, we'll change our tune. We'll have an interruption from Don from BBS Radio and say, "Hey, what's up, dude?" Because he was excited to get on to, come on, he's creating.
Yes.
So
Yes.
so yeah. So obviously, I assume that my tenure is redundant. That I'm not a huge fan of anything in between our creative force, and that's money. And so all people on the Galactic Federation, we call them councils, but whatever, they all know that I hate money because it controls, it manipulates your creative force. But today, I might change my tune because it's a great tool too when people all over the world realize it's worthless outside of your excitement. It doesn't really serve any purpose other than to be an exchange of means of your excitement. So your Jubilee is the stair stepping to getting back to your horsepower, if you will. And I am changing my tune a bit. I'm pretty excited for us to learn new value systems. And so I didn't always talk like this because I don't feel anybody should be hindered to have shelter, food, water, etc. So the Jubilee is designed to get, let's say, others that haven't done their homework so far. And we're going to grab a lot of folks that wouldn't be listening to this show through the Jubilee. So the ones that are listening to the show, you guys are the coaches for the other ones. Okay, I hate to say it over and over again, but I'm sorry, your neighbor might not be voting the same way you are, if you know what I mean.
Right.
And so when you get to show and prove yourself in this arena, what we're calling the Jubilee, it is going to spread like wildfire. So that's my goal with Project Review, is get millions of people on this so we can relearn how we typically live without the boundaries of survival, propaganda, indoctrination systems. My great passion as well, is obviously to work with the kids, like I talked about. And I can't wait for these kids to teach us a new language, because most mammalians do more singing than speaking. So when I was here last, we would sing hymns so we would remember them. And I'll keep reminding it. That's why I always come up with a song. We get to process each other's feelings and knowledge through song, and then that's a nice way to remember them. La 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 la. See, it just works. And so you feel the knowledge through our harmonics and our lights, and that's the best I can do to help. Great question. I love it. Please, do you have some more?
That was beautiful. Thank you. Well, staying on track with Jubilee, when you were talking a little bit about, how some people are predicting the future, and that we understand now, this is, whether it's fake news or whether it's whatever news it is, so we understand that there's going to be a great shakeup, so to speak. Well, no, they say it is a big shakeup, especially when the people are going to learn the truth about all of the lies that they have listened to and followed, etc., that it's going to be catastrophic. I mean, it doesn't have to be that way. I mean, I don't know where they come up with some of these bits of information, and then that gets sent out all over the place. Again, to just bring in, to create a timeline of more fear, more doubt, etc. I mean, we got to get over. Why are we listening to that crap? I guess is really what I want to say. That shouldn't even be there. So the people that are actually thinking or doing that kind of work in putting it out there that is going to be a terrible transition, don't go there. I don't care whether they're from a different density or dimension or whatever that's coming through people, right? Why is that, Zora? Q? Why do we have other people outside of here coming through people saying it's going to be terrible? And I don't mean to create a timeline. I just need to let everybody know that doesn't have to be, that we can uncreate and create what we want, right?
Yeah. So again, the canary in the coal mine that I want to be for everyone is to remind you that there's no such thing as time or space. Okay. This is how incredibly powerful you all are, even though you may see restrictions and hindrances in your physical body. You will never be able to hide from the fact. Here is one thing you can definitely count on. Every new moment in time is a new creation by you. And so the more you dwell on the past, the more you're going to create the future based on the past. Clear the past for manifestation to occur.
Thank you.
That's all you have to do. Nothing exists except right now. Look how hard somebody's worked to give you an identity, give you time, unnecessary urgencies. You are true source energy created from the universe of light. You are endless.
Okay.
Regaining your true essence of who you are is why I'm here to help and support, because I consider you all peers. That's it.
Thank you.
Hope that helps a little bit.
It helps a lot. Thank you so much for that clarification, Q. Appreciate that. Well, let's get back again now, since Donna was here and I was reminding me that I have to stay on track in regards to going back to discussing a little bit more about consciousness now in regards to quantitative. And I'm going to put in quantitative versus qualitative computation through consciousness.
Yeah, and so I'm going to bludgeon all your titles continuous. I'm always going to fumble them around because I'd like everyone to recognize. I've said it over and over again, and so why would I change now? If you take a lie detector test and you notice that they're fairly accurate because the emotional bandwidth they can record and extrapolate and sort. Well, you're able to do that with your satellites now, and I can take every thought on the planet and bounce it back into a computer. And the computers are all designed to be exact replicas of your mind. The dark individuals who manipulate this version of Mammalins have done their best to try. They're not very successful, but they're trying very hard to mimic light. So they're making a false light system, and or they're taking the reincarnation wheel and exaggerating it to the point where you can't get out of here. And so you're all getting reincarnated because they're faking you out when you do pass on. You can take your body with you whenever you want. You can, but everyone believes they're going to die. And so knowing that you never die is the trick. They don't want you to know that. And this is very common language for the people who've listened all the time, but you live forever. You're forever and forever. How long is forever, Jane? Yeah, see, I told you. The light is here to help everyone. You don't need a belief system in God or religion. You're already connected to the divine. And I'm sorry to be so redundant. With these conscious computers, as I would prefer us to use the terms, a conscious computer is just all of us talking back to each other, which is natural in a spirit. So typically when you are on a planet, you would have all the information on a planet, everyone's thoughts in real time. Doesn't mean you're going to look at them, observe them, participate with every thought on the planet. It means that you have the access to do so, and you stay in peace energy as your standard neutrality. And then when you want to go participate with the experience of another being, it's very normal for you to know everything when you come on a planet, is what I'm doing my best to say. So these conscious computers are a way to get us the next step for that. And they also accelerate your desire. So as you get excited with your passion, collective consciousness is going to support it. You're going to get a lot of horsepower when you come on. As an example, we go project review with Q, say, I want to build Tinker Toys. And everybody goes, oh my gosh, I never thought of that. I love Tinker Toys. Doesn't mean I want to do it. But when you get more of us all on the same platform and we all say, let's go, watch what happens. It's just incredible. And I encourage you all to participate with me. And at the risk of sounding like a commercial, but I guarantee you, you're going to have incredible experience going forward if you trust yourself. Have faith in yourself. Please, Jane, help me out here. Do we have a Jane? Do we have a Jane?
Sorry about that. I'm talking to myself. Sorry about that, Q. So when we're talking about the conscious computers, you're referring to the conscious computers that we're going to be receiving at redemption. Is that correct?
So you're going to get more access to it as it becomes more common. So right now, the collapse of your financial system has been ongoing for many, many years. Mm-hmm. And in a way in which you don't feel day in and day out because you keep believing in the exchange of currency and so forth, given the country you're in. But the quantitative conscious computers, so quantifying consciousness, how do you sort that, Jane? Who is going to with all of our consciousness? And so that's the tricky part. What if I was the only one that had the collective consciousness on the planet? Thank you, Google. I could really control a planet, couldn't I?
Yes.
Okay, so that's really the game you're seeing played here, is who is going to play God on planet Earth when they're the only one with a gateway of all of our consciousness. That's so I have a lie detector for all of the planet, and I know who's lying and who isn't. Who gets to be the judge and or controller of that? So that's why you're not seeing this aggression to control the deliverable, which is your highest excitement. We are now at a point where we can decide what future we want, dear ones. No government, they've all not supported your highest excitement, I assume. We get to choose now. No one is manning the ship, everyone. Let's go take the wheelhouse. It's up to us now. And that's my great encouragement. So a lot of the, let's say, lethargy or laggardness that you may be perceiving, where's my check, is really because great care is taken for you not to have a false idol, a false god, an unbelievable opportunity to make decisions for the future for all of us based on your heart. Does that make sense?
Yes, I think as we're moving in that direction, everyone who, especially that are going forward with their projects and all of that. Oh, cool. Here's another question. So, and I think we're all getting really excited and enjoy in regards to that. And then to listen to you and talk about more regarding the projects reviews that will be taking place, I think that just brings more concreteness or reality to this near future that we are excited about. My question in the process of our moving forward again, it seems that even in the evolution of time in which in this density, things are a little bit challenging. Again, if we move into our highest and peace energy as we go forward, and there will always be others that are not going to be in alignment with where you are. They will throw questions. They will throw whatever wrenches in that. I mean, it gets to be a battle sometimes, Q.
Can you give me an example?
Yeah, I'll give you an example. Okay, so let's just say I have two organizations, or let's just say I have one organization, and I've got a slew of people in this organization. Now, we have people here that are in agreement. Oh yeah, let's do this. And let's just say we have a board of people and they all are in agreement. And now below that, there are various people that have all kinds of different ideas and people that have opposing ideas. So again, in regards to the whole platform of it, it's very, very positive. However, we have different people that have, different views, and all of a sudden, you have ego, you have emotions getting into play. I mean, how does that move so that we don't have all of that, other lower vibrational, emotional garbage that comes up? That's part of an organization many times, whether it's a hospital, whether it's whatever it is, corporation, there's always people that are vying for power, people who say, oh, we should go my way or your way or whatever. It becomes a little bit conflictual.
It becomes a little bit emotional, doesn't it?
It does, yes. We got to get rid. How do we bring more peace into all of that and getting everybody on board with it? So, Q.
Zia. Okay, so one day I was in a town on the West Coast, and there was a march with about 10 people in it. And they were going down the middle of the street saying Black Lives Matter. And then I stood up on a balcony and I said, codfish matters. Codfish matters. What about the codfish? Wasn't real popular that day, but so the people who were chanting Black Lives Matter, they believed in this that these things happened. They don't know one way or another. They just have a television that tells them that's what happened. Whether they know it or not, they weren't there. They just assume it actually happened. They believe the machine told them the truth. Well, that's a lot like what you just said here. Is when we get into big groups of people, we have a belief system that's not based on knowledge because we have a perception of the past that we keep bringing forward. So my answer is going to be the same over and over again.
Of course.
Stop thinking. And the reason the history machine on your brain was so powerful is to keep suspending you from your natural creative force and keep you from your knowledge center. And that is excitement, passion. Absolutely, I can't wait to do it is what we are normally attuned to do. That's all we do in the universe. We go, I want to, and then it appears. And so here, you're getting that back right now, and it's quite a change. It is. This one is going to be very, very, very incredible. This is one of the most incredible ascension cycles we will probably all ever experience because of the volume of singularity that's here is quite incredible. We've really spread out, but we're used to being a lot closer, and you're all going to get your memories back. You're going to have a lot of knowledge of everyone on the planet. You're going to know things I believe Deborah Harry had a song, I know things, but I don't know them. And that's what I'm encouraging everybody. When you can see the information, know the information, but you can't really, let's say, sort it out in language. Follow that. That is really powerful. Really, I think, because that's what's taken from us. We're really geniuses, unbelievable geniuses. And we forgot a lot of times, from based on your statement and your question. Please keep directing me.
Okay. I think it's, again, it's really about, and thank you for that. I think that you said a lot right there in terms of, you feel like, yeah, I have a feeling that this is what I want, but getting there is a little bit nebulous. It's like, but I just know it's there, or something like that. And then of course, that's when when people have a thought that they feel like, I want to explore that some more, because I want to just learn more, or feeling like I need to do that. That is part of the inspiration in which to move forward with it, instead of just staying put and just letting it be. Is that right?
Yeah. The biggest thing that's happening with this version of humans would be the courting. So these cell phones are really good at courting us. So if you text regularly, you're being courted, because now you're participating in the past. If you share emotions on your reactive communication device, you're not proactively creating the future you want. So that's my great passion here, is to remind you that your creative force should be proactive, and don't give your spirit away to courting. I know it's your mother, but not everybody likes going to Mother's Day. God, I'm going to take some heat for that one. I'm going to take some heat. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I know a couple moms, and they're going to slap my face. I know. But in all due respect, Mother's Day should be 365 days a year. And by the way, there's no such thing as 365 days, and there's no such thing as a year. So let's just have fun with the love we have for each other, either way, and support each other. And it's very exciting to see how powerful we are now. Please keep directing me as you see.
Okay. Well, anyways, we should really kind of go back again in terms of, when you talk about quantitative computation through consciousness, that becomes a little bit more intrinsic, right? There's an intrinsic value here that we need to really be aware of.
Yeah. So there's a lot of people that want the internet to stay alive, so you can see how diabolical it is. So if I was to standardize, a lot of the groups, a lot of people in the United States military, they want you to see how you've been duped. That's one of the values, and catch the manipulation of the artificial intelligence that could be very positive if you were controlling it. If you were controlling it, but it's being manipulated now. So if you could actually use your heart center to deliver the outcome, it's completely different than taking every thought you have and then manipulating you in your next decision, which I'm calling courting. So when you send a nasty email, a demanding email, as an example, the AI now that you have wants to put emotions behind your words. So the English language is designed to have deliberate courting. So this is not the lightest topic, but when you start looking at your consonants, the constant T's and end of words, that is the courting that's desired with English language. So the first thing I need to remind everybody is we work with great care with this language, with our heart. So certainly we're in a civilization with this linguistics, many different languages all over the planet. But when you use it with your heart energy, it can't win either way. But yeah, that is correct. The courting is what is continuously happening here based on the past. You're this, you're that. What, where, and how cannot be described to anybody outside yourself.
Okay, so go
ahead.
Q, tell us more about the consonants. I know you've spoken about that 2 or 3 times, but can we discuss that a little bit more in terms of the verbiage that we use, which are more consonants than, the letters, etc., that maybe people can kind of really maybe get a better grasp of it?
Yeah, so use the softer words. So Jordan, there's people much better than me to talk about it. A dear friend, Jordan Maxwell, is probably the best, studied it very well through the Bible and otherwise. The Bible was designed to infuse a lot of this black magic linguistics. It was a great effort to get a lot of these books out, as you can see. Let's use I love you. Jane, I love you.
I love you too, Q.
Okay, so I say it with great, great care. But if you look at the word love, it doesn't even begin to explain the volume of love I have for you. Because it stops the flow of love. So they've stopped the flow of love with the V. So if you take out the consonants, O and the E, you don't have anything. So one of my favorite things to do with the homeschool groups is to go get a word search book, get them on any newsstand, and get the kids to look for words, but have them look for the words backwards. And then you start looking at words like manifest, fest, man. Most of your words are designed to be a magic implementation because you're actually reading a lot of your words backwards when you're reading them forward. So us is Sue. We can go on all day with this. And so it does not ever take away from how much passion we have in our frequency. So it's not to be disingenuous to communication. It's just to feel each other. And our intentions is what's given back to you now. You can actually smell it very far away now if you just feel information. Look people in the eye now, and you'll see their frequencies. You'll see if they are light, if they have light. You will not be able to participate with individuals that are not at your frequency now. Look how your relationships are changing, everyone. It's really exciting. You are moving to higher frequencies. Don't you think, Jane?
Well, let's not think. I would like to ask as well, when you say just feel, your what you want to say, whether it's love or whatever. It's all in the feeling part of it and your intention. Absolutely. So regarding that, many times, I think a lot of people these days are kind of looking in the mirror in regards to who they are and not liking what they see. And that'll manifest in terms of how you feel and how you also relate to others. So let's talk a little bit, if you will, regarding that. Let's talk about, we talk about love, but can we talk a little bit more about self-love? Because that's always been one of the key elements in regards to understanding what real love is. And it begins with you again, which also goes back again to that you are infinite, you are divine, etc. So that understanding that everything that you see when you're in front of others, they will mirror back to you how you are presenting. But anyway, so going back with that and talking a little bit about self-love, which I really feel that a lot of people are working with right now.
Yeah, it's an outstanding topic. Thank you so much, Jane. It's just brilliant. The new you that you're getting is undoubtedly more and more apparent with the boundaries you create. Boundaries are a part of self-love, believe it or not, know it or not. You don't prefer things, that would be a boundary. Just because your family said you have to go doesn't mean you have to go. I don't feel like going is not your highest excitement, is part of self-love, as you stated. I really, really am excited, and you fill in the gap, is self-love to me. And so you don't have to overthink it. You don't have to overprocess it. You don't have to put a bunch of crystals around your neck, jump off Mount Vesuvius. You are in perfect peace if you choose to be. Your inspiration, your excitement can be absolutely nothing. Mm-hmm. That's my great goal and passion, is to show you that creating peace by doing nothing is incredibly powerful, incredibly self-loving. I have chosen to be perfectly peaceful, not a thought in my head. Nothing can cord me. No ancillary communication from aliens pretending to be spirit guides, etc., etc. I am in peace. Is my great passion for you all. Thank you, Jane, for that question.
And thank you for explaining that further. I think because when we're talking about Mother's Day or graduations or whatever, we all feel compelled. Again, that you need to be there, or you need to be there for family, or you need blah, blah, blah. And it's like, well, I really don't feel like I want to go there. I don't really feel compelled to want to be there, and so when you say boundaries are about self-love, I think that's important for people to understand that. And in regards to what your passions are as well, don't let other people dictate, or don't look to others to dictate to you what you think you might like to do, or, you could do. It's all about learning how to, a part of self-love and boundaries as well is to help one to really become the more powerful divine being that they are, that they don't need other people around them all of the time, although we are all one. Explain that further. We are all one, and yet, there are times when it just, as you said, it's just so wonderful just to be alone out in nature. I don't need to have somebody with me. I don't need, because I guess I'm just being redundant again in regards to what you just spoke of in terms of self-love. But again, the other part of it that people are still feeling strongly about, and I will include myself in that, is the obligations that are in this world presently that prevents us sometimes to be able to be in what we call this a self-love kind of situation where you want more peace.
That's great. Okay, so help me with standardizing. What would be a typical obligation that we could use as an example here?
Well, one would be, I have to go to so and so's for Mother's Day. I got to go be with the family on Mother's Day, or I have to go to this graduation that I really do not feel really. I don't really feel I need to be there, right? So whatever it is, and special occasions is usually one of the key things in which people are obligated or feel like they have to be a part of, and sometimes it's even a church, or whatever it is that they feel like they have to be a part of, or because the spouse says, oh yeah, why don't we go here, but you really don't feel inclined to, but you can't say no. Something like that.
Yeah, obligations. I love it. So I have to go because I have to go because you said I have to go because we have to go because we're going to be late. Okay.
Right.
I like the graduation one. That one's the best. So one day I met a girl and I was excited because I loved her so much. I wanted to be with her. I just couldn't stop thinking. I couldn't eat. Everything in me wanted to be with this girl. And then we got married, and it happens that when you love someone and you get married, you have children. And it was a child we assume was born from love, not lust. And now I have a child, and I kind of love it. I mean, I loved it to begin with, but then it started stealing my car keys and sneaking out at night. And so now, do I love my car keys being stolen? Not, I guess they have free will. They can do whatever they want, right? They're excited spirits just like me. Am I obligated to go to the graduation if I am excited about the education system and the success of being indoctrinated into the education system? I suppose that's, a question for all of us is, what is it that we want to have our children learning? And so you may think I'm getting off topic here, but I'm really not. You're getting to the point where if one individual wants to go through the indoctrination of the modern education system, Western world we're talking about, that's their choice. And it should be their choice. But in many cases, we've told them to do it and like it. And now you've created that obligation through the mind. Mm-hmm. You need to do this or you're not going to be able to compete and or participate in civilization. So that obligation and or the self-imprisonment system is what obligation is to me, because obligation does not exist in my world, only choice of your highest excitement. So that's the training and or opportunity we have to rework things. That's why we're doing Project Review with Q, is you're going to see that those paradigms of obligation are going to disappear the more you start exercising the opposite side of the fence, and that is passion, excitement, inspiration. So it's a tough one to answer for you, Jane, because there's no such thing as obligation unless one you create in your mind.
Correct.
There can't be obligation. It's impossible to have obligation unless you create the commitment in your head that I have to do this or else because of someone else's opinion of what you're supposed to do. So that's all getting erased from you right now if you just let down the guard and say, I really don't want to go to the graduation party. Right.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much for bringing up, this concern, especially now spring is here, blah, blah, blah. Anyways, lots of obligations are coming into play. And then again, for you to just say, hey, we can just go ahead and move away from that paradigm because it's not what we want. And then just go ahead and say, something different so that, you could just be at your own peace. Yeah. It's a matter of just even, I think that's it's all really part of the transformation anyways of our present, I don't want to call it a dilemma, our present, transition is for people to really come to a lot of terms in regards to who they are and in regards to obligations, in regards to just transformation against beginning from within. So then once you get that in place, then you're able to more easily be able to influence others as well in regards to how they might feel, that they feel like they don't want to go to either, right? Something like that. And then it's like, like the pandemic and all of that crazy nonsense. And all of that is playing out now, and more people are becoming awake. But that is also part of who we are in regards to our growth. As we grow, other people around us will continue to grow as well. So, anyways, where shall we go from here? Q, we only have like about 20 minutes left. I would really like to talk a little bit more about, how can we best utilize our energies presently to really invoke and bring in more of who we are, love ourselves more, feel more of our passion in regards to what we want to be able to do individually. Because if you do the passion, if you get so motivated individually, there is no way you're not going to be, other people around you are going to be affected as well. Just like with you, Q, having you, come and teach us. And as we learn and we grow, we are really growing so much more in so many different ways. Thank you for that, Q.
Yeah, so that's outstanding, Jane. It's beautiful how the synchronicity of the topics are flowing so nicely. There's a couple tools that I want to promote in Project Review with Q coming forward here in a personal perspective and a professional perspective. So if we want to call it our professional life and our personal life, I don't see a difference. They're the same. But there's as I work with children more and more, they're fairly quick to recognize the difference between unhappy and happy. And so that's why I love children so much, is before they get, let's say, some of their genetic manipulation and altering them. That's a gross generalization. It's not for everybody. But when you're unhappy, that's really not you. And when you're happy, it is you. Now, what I'm noticing with the thousands and thousands of calls with everyone, they are exactly like all children. That's spirit. And that is, unhappy would be focusing on the past. Happy would be, I can't wait to do something. And so if you're not happy, you have a choice of being neutral. So for me, this is what I'm calling the T. There's somebody that also practices something about a T. He's from Michigan. He's a great person, and I love him very much. Unhappy is the past, happy is the future. Otherwise, you can stay in neutrality. So the more we stay neutral and then look to the future, that's all we really desire to do is, okay, what's my next choice? Can't wait. Your next choice could be nothing. It doesn't really matter, dear ones. There's no one to judge you except yourself. And that comes from the mind. Anyway, I'd like to conclude today with a little more about Project Review with Q. Is that okay?
Oh, absolutely. Please.
Okay, so I've drugged my feet a little bit this couple weeks. This is the second roll call for everyone. Get your friends, family, everyone, millions of people. I am your counselor for making this transition. I assume most people who follow the Jubilee already know and feel that I am one of your coaches. I don't feel comfortable with that term, but I drew I volunteered, and I love it, And so Project Review with Q, I request that millions and millions of people around the planet please sign up with us. And you're going to be the way showers once again, as you always have been. And I'm going to help you get over the fence here. And we're right at a beautiful time. And don't worry about things that you think are supposed to happen. Don't worry about the direction in which needs formality so you perceive on the past. Notice that your governments aren't calling you and say, can I give you $1 million? Your governments don't really want to give you $1 million, do they? Okay, so exercising with Q is to get you through the woods here. It's going to go really fast. The more of us who sign up, it's very important to recognize that's our horsepower. The reason there's 50 countries in the United States of America is to keep you in silos. Now, sign up with Review with Q, Project Review with Q. I assure you, we collectively, as we review these projects, you are going to create horsepower. I don't care that you don't want to make sandals out of tires, but just the excitement of listening to someone else's project is going to make that person more successful, and they will make you more successful. So just listen in, just participate. Let's really make this bodacious. Absolutely incredible. The more of us who get on topic, which is making this universe the world we want, regardless of the ancillary, unbelievably incompetent distractions around us. Sign up with us, and I guarantee you, I do not want to sound like a commercial, but we are ready. I'm here to tell you, you all are ready now. All of the hindrances have been removed to you. I know it doesn't seem like it. It's right here, right now, dear ones. And so I expect us to have your portal ready this week.
Yes.
I've drugged my feet because, as you can imagine, there's a lot of attention on this. There's a lot of attention on me. And so when I do false flags, the bad guys already know what I'm going to say. I get to see who chases me. And
Good.
so that's why you see me starting and stopping a lot, dear ones, is because I still like to see who wants to play with me. And I'm tired of the helicopters over my house. and so that's when I know I'm on target. Is I got a lot of helicopters around.
Okay.
And I only James Gillian knows what I'm talking about. Anyway, so, let's wrap it up then, Jane, if you don't mind.
Well, I just want to let people know that we should be sending out some information to everyone in regards to the subscription and how to go ahead and sign up and get as many people to sign up. Again, this project, this project review with Q, it pertains not only to professionally for you, but also in regards to personal. So it's about getting as many people as we can aboard, because that brings the collective consciousness to a much higher frequency. And that is what we want. We want to be able to affect as many positively as many people all around the world. This is our time to be able to support each other and Q on this journey. So that's all I got to say as well. And again, as we finish up Q, we would love, again, your last words, your beautiful commands as we move forward with this. Oh, one last thing. I also want to tell people, and Q, please just kind of a quick understanding of where people are at. We had a lot of one-to-ones, and for those that had the one-to-ones, God bless, and that you were very much, it was appreciated that you were there with Q. I think at this point, we have much larger, we have a much larger vision for everyone to participate in, to help and heal, not yourself, physically, everything in every way through the projects that's coming forward for millions of people It isn't about one individual. We've got to come in as a collective at this time. So I don't know whether or not you want to say any more in regards to people still wanting to do one-to-ones with you and saying, well, Q said blah, blah, blah. Could you put some piece to that for us, Q?
Yeah, so thank you, Jane. The one-to-ones are absolutely been brilliant, educating me. I learned so much more from anybody that calls me than I give to them, is my assumption, perception. They are not going to go away. I just now see that my passion is targeted to the largest group we can get, on and on, so that you all can be have your own one-on-ones. You're all getting your knowledge back. You're all going to be just like me in your understanding of time and relationship. So many people listening to this call are absolutely geniuses in this understanding of what our consciousness is, and or spirit source, the divinity that you have inside yourself. And so, yes, I will do one-on-ones again, and that's the purpose of Project Review. You're going to get a lot of one-on-one time with me. And the focus is on delivering deliverables now. Solutions is my one-on-one passion now. We all these calls for the last year with Zorea and Jane here are all for this day now. You got educated on how why would they torture me so much when I come into this body? Why would they torture Stuart Swerdlow when he comes into this body? We're done. We're done with it. We all of us have gone through some kind of experience here that is not preferred, and we're going to resolve it real quick. And my solution for you all is let's all get on one page and let's get organized without being organized. We're going to follow our passion, and that's that. And I'll conclude with this. I command Prime Creation to give us all and everything we would ever want. I command Prime Creation to give us all and everything we desire to create. I command Prime Creation to increase all of our life force energy now. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And that is so. And that's the way it will be. My great love to you, Jane. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, BBS. And here we come. Project Review with Q is headed your way.
Beautiful. And on behalf of everyone, Q, we love you so dearly. Thank you so much for being a part of our path at this time and doing and being all that you are for all of us. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Everyone, have yourselves a wondrous, glorious, and loving day. And hopefully some of you will be on our Zora call tomorrow. And thank you again for this day, Q. All right. That is all. And we shall be leaving now. Thank you, everyone.